Well, today, CMPD offering more clarity on what happened during that 30-hour SWAT standoff over the weekend in Steele Creek. That situation started early in the morning on Saturday and then didn't really come to an end until yesterday afternoon.
CMPD says this is not the first time it has gotten calls for this particular suspect. Fred Shropshire is joining us now with what officials had to say today. Fred?
Yeah, a long and arduous process. Police say the suspect, 32-year-old An Ty, had 2 outstanding arrest warrants at the time of the call. Ty has been the subject of 46 calls since 2017. 17 of those calls have come in the past 12 months. This past weekend's call first came in just before 7 Saturday morning. Several members of the neighborhood called police saying the suspect was threatening them. Authorities say Ty was going through a mental health crisis and that he had weapons in his house. First, patrol officers tried to de-escalate the situation. Then the crisis intervention and SWAT teams responded to the scene. The threats continued throughout the night, and Ty refused to leave his house. At one point during that evening, he stood in the doorway carrying a handgun. Officials say one officer felt there was a threat, so he fired a single shot at Ty and missed. Police reached a breakthrough around 1:30 Sunday afternoon. Officers say Ty walked out of his house and surrendered. He received a mental health evaluation. Officials say the standoff proves we need to do more to address mental health and prevention when it comes to avoiding situations like these from happening in the first place.
Society in general has decided to kind of disinvest in mental health resources, and that's true, everywhere across the country. The result of that is we see these folks at home and in the community, and when they're not being housed when they should be, when they're not medicated as they should be, or not seeking the proper help, it becomes a community problem, which then sometimes leads to a policing problem. I don't know what the short-term answer to that is. It's a bigger problem than us, but I know we're taking all the steps we can to address it.
So CMPD says the number of officers in the department trained for crisis intervention is higher than the national average, but they're still looking into ways they can improve their response to these kinds of emergencies. Vanessa?
Yeah, topic certainly to discuss, not here, just here locally, but also across the country.
Nationwide.
Fred, thank you so much.